I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I got a special guest with me today.
Hi there, I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about I can't help myself.
I can't help myself.
Yeah, well, one of the big struggles of going through a breakup is feeling like you have no self-control.
And there's nothing you can do to control the situation.
You can't control your emotions.
Yeah.
You can't control your behavior. At least you feel like it. But you ultimately have to make a decision. And you've got to decide that you're going to act and handle it like an adult.
Right.
Because if you don't, you're going to make your situation worse.
And adults have to own their behavior, and it's not okay to say I couldn't help myself. Right?
Because you're not powerless.
But it's hard.
You have control over yourself. You might not have as much control over a situation that you want. You might feel helpless and hopeless.
Sure.
But if you don't maintain a level of emotional self-control
and dignity, and
you're going to wind up making your situation so much worse, and it's going to be so much harder to try and reattract somebody.
Yeah.
So, I got an email today. That's a good email. It's a tough one, I think, to read. From a guy that's in his late 20s. Now, he's been dating this woman who's roughly the same age for 5 years. And they've already had a couple of breakups before. And we'll read through this and we'll see what's going on here, okay? So he was telling me about her life and that she was an only child, but she's very close to her mom. Her mom is very supportive of her, sometimes to the point of doing everything for her.
Good deal for her.
Her mom manages everything in the house.
What does mom do for her specifically?
He didn't say.
Okay.
But it's making you wonder.
Yeah.
Why?
Just curious, because it's going to speak to how healthfully differentiated she is for mom.
Yes.
I mean, does mom do every little thing for her, or does mom do her ironing in with the family ironing, or so you don't know whether you're into kind of being waited on or being controlled in a subtle kind of way by mom? Just curious.
Yep, but it's definitely a possible red flag.
Yes, it is. Yes,
okay?
It is. Yeah.
All right, so he says, I was not diligent enough. I had depression and didn't do much work for the last 3 months.
So he's been depressed for the last 3 months.
Probably a lot longer than that.
Probably a lot longer than that. Yeah.
I couldn't take care of her. I was not strong for her. She's had enough and didn't want to try and change me anymore.
Had she been trying to change him?
It sounds like she was probably trying to help him with that depression.
Yeah.
She wouldn't
That's
be...
different from trying to change somebody.
Yes, I agree.
Somewhat. Only
Yes.
somewhat, yeah.
She wouldn't be okay if I got depressed again. She couldn't see us getting married. I always avoid the discussion. So this woman is probably getting tired.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything about his depression.
Right.
He's not doing anything about his issues.
Yeah.
He's wearing her down.
And he has some issue with her mother.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Now that you bring that up and say it like that, I think you're right. Okay. He says, I didn't contact her for the first 2 weeks. During this time, I asked her friend about her a lot of times.
Oh, how junior high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I texted her because I was stressed about my work and couldn't resist myself.
Oh, so he wanted her when he was stressed, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I asked how she had been. She replied she felt better than when we were together because she didn't have to be disappointed by me and decided to move on.
Oh my.
That would hurt to hear.
Yes, it certainly would. Especially if you're depressed.
Yeah. On that Saturday, I talked to her friend and found out they were meeting up, and she asked me if I wanted to come before my ex arrived. I went. Later, my ex found out and texted me, "Why did I do that?" I said I missed her and I didn't know what to do. She said to leave them alone. That hurts to hear. It makes him feel even worse. Her friend also didn't want to have anything to do with this anymore.
Right. She was probably angry at the friend too, and understandably so.
I texted her the next day regarding my depression, and she said she would accompany me to the doctor.
Good.
She called me 3 days later to ask when to go, but I couldn't get an appointment yet. So I went unplanned on Saturday, which she wasn't free. So I went alone, but she called to ask how it went when she finished her thing. Now see, I don't know if I think it was a good idea. I don't think it was a good idea to ask her to go.
No, I could see why he wanted her to.
But
And he also wanted to let her know he was doing something finally.
yes,
Yeah.
but it's a manipulation.
Yes, it is.
And he could have asked a friend to go with
Yes,
him.
he could have. Yeah.
So I don't like the fact that he did that because
And she was probably feeling bad for him. She does, after all, have feelings for him, and she was going to be helpful and go along. But it would have been a bad mess.
and he's trying to use guilt.
Yeah, he's trying to use guilt. You're right. I didn't think of that either. Yeah.
He's trying to guilt her into
Yeah.
feeling bad for him.
Right.
Oh, I'm depressed, and look, now I'm getting help.
But
That's-
not until you left me.
And that's manipulation.
Yeah.
Okay. On the third week, I told her I was having something to give her, so we arranged a meetup. We talked how life went, and I asked her if she was seeing anyone else. She said she decided last Saturday to talk to a guy, and she only talks dating-wise to one guy at a time. I was shocked, but tried to keep myself together. Wow, so she's already dating other people. It tells me she had been wanting to get out of this relationship
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I contemplated on what happened and found it was my ego and anxiety. I took her for granted and not being manly or strong enough. I rarely gave her my love and effort when she gave me a lot and I didn't see the value of it.
So they didn't have it.
That's right.
That's sad.
Happens a lot.
Yes.
I always thought she was annoying and nagging me for things I didn't do for her, like texting during the day or giving her a priority. I think he means making her a priority.
Yeah.
Then she went up country for work for 4 days. I found out later the new guy joined her, but from photos, I don't think they had intimate things yet. How would you know?
How would you know? I was just going to say, you can't tell that from a photo.
No, and he's probably hoping and praying they didn't do anything yet. During the time, I called her mom, apologizing and asking if she was okay if I see her daughter again.
Oh, so he thinks mom has the decision-making power here. Uh-huh.
Well, as he said in the beginning,
Yep.
mom does everything for her.
Yep.
Apparently, she makes the decision of who she dates too.
Or he thinks she does. Who's
Yeah.
Whether she does or she doesn't.
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
But he thought he'd better get in good with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Only making it worse. When my ex found out, she wasn't happy.
Yeah.
No surprise there. I mean, could you imagine you break up with somebody and then you're like, look, it's not working out. I'm going to start dating other people.
Yeah.
You start to date a new person. And then your ex goes to your mother
Yeah.
and says, would it be okay for me to date her again? What?
He
No,
probably
I make
doesn't-
my decisions,
He
not my
probably
mother.
doesn't know how insulting all that is. Yeah. I make my own decisions.
I think he's so depressed and so distraught.
I agree.
He is. I just feel like this
He's
guy's
not thinking clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At all.
He doesn't sound like a bad guy in any way, but depressed.
Yeah. He seems very depressed.
Very depressed, yeah.
My ex found out and she wasn't happy. On the day she came back, I went to the airport to surprise her.
Well, she's getting off the plane with the other guy you don't know. Yeah.
This is bad.
This is bad. She was going to be surprised, all right.
Oh yeah, he's going to be surprised too when security comes. Wow. But after I called her 6 to 7 times and she didn't answer, we didn't meet.
Right.
Supposed she was with the new guy. Obviously,
Yes.
she was with the new guy. You know they went on the trip together and they got off the plane together. Like,
Yeah.
what are you
know
thinking,
that.
man?
Yeah.
We talked on the phone on her way back home, and she said I should go make myself better first, then we'll see, while she still sees the new guy. So
What's she supposed to do? Stop seeing anybody and just wait for him to get undepressed? That doesn't happen instantly, unfortunately.
She's just saying this to make him feel a little bit better, but she has no interest in trying to work it out at that point.
No.
I said, can she give me 1 month? Boy, he's really living in a fantasy.
Poor guy.
He really is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's thinking if I can just have 1 month with you not dating anybody else, I can change. How many years have you been together?
I want to know what medication he's planning on taking. It must be a miracle.
No kidding. She said 6 months.
Yeah.
That's just, I literally take that with a grain of salt. That is, there is no
and
real
why
substance
should
behind
she
that.
wait 6 months?
No,
But she's kind of placating him now. The guilt is working. Yeah,
but not really.
not really.
Because she's still going to do whatever she wants. I then went to her home
Oh, he keeps shooting himself in the foot.
to drop things I bought for her. We met there and she refused to take them and said, never do this again. 2 weeks, I begged, pleaded her to come back
Oh, dear.
on the phone. On the past Tuesday morning, I called her to say good morning, apologized for everything, and tried convincing her. But she saw nothing to hold on to in the relationship, and the new guy did everything she wanted from me for her. Next 2 mornings, I called her again to say good morning and more apologizing and asking her to forgive me, which she said she had nothing to forgive.
That's the idea. She had nothing.
She ended with, just don't make me annoyed. I think she's already beyond
She's already
annoyed.
annoyed, yeah.
I called her again at night.
Oh,
This is really bad.
yes.
I gotta say, this is one of the toughest emails I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
That's actually why I saved this one to do with you, because
Yes.
I thought this guy was so...
This poor guy.
I mean, he is just not thinking clearly at all.
No.
Everything he's doing is making it worse. Literally every single thing he's
And he's
done.
looking infantile. Yeah.
Okay.
So we went to her house again.
I called her again that night.
Okay.
No answer. I called her the next morning. 3 times.
No answer.
3 times. And no answer. But when I texted her about work at noon, she replied, but didn't finish the conversation. Since then, I haven't contacted her.
Good. That was, what, 2 hours now? Since he contacted her last?
Right?
Or was it a couple of days?
He didn't say.
Yeah, okay.
This is awful.
Terrible.
This guy is really bad off. I'm feeling weak mentally during the past month, yearning to get her back. And after she said she talks to someone else, she has been very cold to me. She doesn't want to give him any ideas that she wants him back.
Exactly. She doesn't want to mislead him in any way. Have they been together?
5 years.
He's had 5 years to seek help for his depression. And he has, I mean, if they've been together 5 years and he's just now willing to get help after she threatened to leave him, I see no reason why she should have much faith in his motivation.
No, and they've already broken up 2 other times.
2 other times.
Probably she warned him over and over and over
Yes.
and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And unfortunately now, he may have lost her for good.
Yes, he may have.
I understood everything that went wrong in the relationship,
Oh, no, you really didn't.
and you still don't.
And you still don't.
No. And began changing my mindset and life, but couldn't show her. Boy, that's how everybody feels.
If only I could show her the changes I've made.
That needs to be a video in its
Yes, it
itself
does.
right there.
Yes,
If
it
only I
does.
could show
Yeah.
them the changes I've made.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a
Right.
good idea for a video. Because that's an entire subject right there. I knew that I acted very immaturely. I don't know what to do next. Okay. According to her, the two biggest relationship problems was his attention to her and their future together. He wants to know how he should get her back and how to make himself emotionally strong.
Oh, that's a tall order, emotionally strong, when you've had recurrent depressions for quite some time.
Yes.
But going to get help is the first step for him. Right. And he needs to get some control over his life. It sounds like he just sounds so helpless and hopeless that you feel bad for him, and everything he did was further smother her and push her further away. So you can see that he tried, but he shot himself in the foot repeatedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all he can do now is get stronger himself.
How would he go about that? Obviously, I have over 300 videos that could help him a lot.
Right.
He needs to get himself a psychiatrist to get evaluated for the depression.
Yes. And he needs to get on medication, most likely, because it sounds like major depression recurrent to me. That would be step one.
A local therapist?
And a local therapist. Psychiatrists and therapists are different these days. The psychiatrists just do the medication, and the therapists do the talking. So he definitely needs someone to talk to.
Yes. Continue to watch the videos.
Yes.
And work and learn on your, I always teach a lot about healthy relationships and attachment.
Yes.
And those will obviously help you.
So he can educate himself.
That's right.
He can go for help and he can educate himself.
That's right.
Yeah. And when you're this depressed, anything he can do that makes him happy or makes him feel better would be really good. Anything. Start running, start walking, talk more to your dog, chat more with the neighbors, do anything that's going to get you moving in any direction. Just move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as getting her back, I mean, he's got to leave this woman alone.
Yes.
I mean, there's just
yeah.
no doubt.
No. She's had enough of him at this point. And probably forever. Yeah.
Well...
You never know.
I mean, they did have 5 years together.
They did.
I mean, right now, she is obviously in this new relationship stage. She's happy about this new guy. She thinks he's going to be wonderful. Well, 3 months later, he could turn out to be terrible.
He could turn out to be terrible.
And,
if this guy's lucky.
Yeah, that's what he's hoping for. And so, I could easily see her reaching out to him to see how he's doing.
Right.
And then if she sees real change, she could, invest in him again. I mean...
She could. She obviously had feelings for him.
Yeah, that's a long relationship.
And she was, even though she was fed up, ready to go to the doctor with him. So she was concerned with his well-being.
She just probably thinks there's no way he's going to change. Right. She's convinced of that.
Well, he hasn't.
Well, not yet.
Yeah.
But, if 4 months from now...
He certainly could.
He really works hard on himself.
People who have been depressed even for a long time get on the right meds and get the right mindset, it can look like a miracle over a month.
There is a very strong stigma about medication still, and when I talk to people and say, hey, you should consider getting evaluated by a psychiatrist because you're depressed, they don't want to do it.
Well, I'm not crazy. I don't need a psychiatrist. I don't need medication, but it hurts my heart because people don't have to be that kind of depressed these days. It's not necessary. We have found means to help. And talking is the most therapeutic thing in the world. And surprise, surprise, the two things work best together. You can just go to therapy or you can just take medication, and either one will help you, but together they will help you faster. If it was diabetes, would you go to the doctor?
That's right.
Right. There needs to be no stigma these days. Sometimes people think about the old medications that gave people, the shuffles and all sorts of stuff. But at this point, I tell people, if you go to the mall and you look to your left and you look to your right, one on your right is taking an antidepressant, and chances are so is the one on your left. And they don't have the side effects these days. So go, get help. You deserve it.
Yeah, and he used to tell me all the time, there's no bonus points for suffering.
No, you don't get any extra points for suffering, for toughing it out. People say, I'm going to tough it out. No, that takes your energy and you continue feeling bad. There's no points. Right. We still think as former Puritans, no pain, no gain. But no, not true. Go see somebody and let somebody help you.
That's right. And you know what? Honestly, she's going to be a lot more impressed if you're actually getting help.
And sometimes people get that backwards. They say getting help is a sign of weakness. Getting help is anything but a sign of weakness. It's a sign of dealing with reality and taking care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, obviously, this was a really tough situation,
For both
and this
of them.
poor guy
For both of them.
is still devastated. This woman, I think, is in this new excitement
Ready
stage.
to move on,
But chances of it lasting with this new guy that she doesn't know, slim to none. She's excited about the idea of it happening.
And if somebody who's maybe much more alive than this guy could have been that depressed for that long.
Yeah, and I'm sure after 5 years of her asking him to get help and him not doing it, that probably just made her think it's never going to happen.
But it's a sad one.
It is.
I feel bad.
That was a really tough one.
Yeah.
That's why I did this one with you. Lucky you.
Yeah, lucky me. I'm glad you... Well, we say share things, divide the burden, so that's okay.
All right, so that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And if you want to get my help personally, go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching, Skype coaching, and emergency Skype coaching if you need to get with me right away. And very shortly, you'll see Margaret on the website as an option to get some Skype coaching with. But it's going to be very limited.
Okay.
She likes to party.
Yeah, I'm too busy partying for the rest of the week. But I do look forward to talking with folks.
And we will talk with you soon.